Passing, shooting, tackling, and dribbling are all part of the training regime in the days leading up to an Austin FC game. But there's another aspect of the game that coaches and the medical staff must prepare for before a road trip: elevation. The elevation here at Q2 Stadium is approximately 775 feet above sea level. Now, the more above sea level you are, the lower the oxygen content in the air, the harder it is to breathe, especially when you're exercising. For Austin FC's second game of the season, they travel to play Colorado Rapids at an elevation almost 4,500 feet higher than that, at 5,164 feet. Chad Kolarsik is Austin FC's head fitness and rehabilitation coach. He uses 3 methods to get the players acclimated. They train in an altitude room with limited oxygen to simulate higher elevations.
We can basically say, hey, we're going to Salt Lake, or hey, we're going to Denver to play a game, and we can kind of look at what the oxygen saturation would be when we're in that location, and then we can come in here and actually set the system to those levels.
He changes the players' diets, having them consume beetroot shots to help at the cellular level to deliver oxygen to the working muscles. And then they receive over-oxygenation in a hyperbaric chamber just before they travel to the high elevation game.
You're saturating your cells with oxygen, so whenever you do finally go to this sort of lower oxygen availability location, your cells actually have a lot more oxygen.
Contrary to what you might think, unless you plan on spending a while at altitude to adjust, you're better off spending as little time in altitude before a game.
Generally, the 24 to 48, sometimes up to 72 hours after you get into altitude is when it feels the absolute worst. You can be inside that kind of 24-hour window, and again, as short as you can keep it, again, tends to have the least amount of effect.
Against Colorado Rapids, by the way, Austin FC arrived just 8 hours before game time and ended up winning 3-1. In Austin, meteorologist Nick Bannon, KXAN News.
What a great story. Thank you, Nick. Well, doctors say that eventually, after roughly 2 weeks at altitude, the body would naturally develop more red blood cells to deliver more oxygen to your body.